In the grim darkness of the future, war is not the clash of ideals, but the grinding of flesh and bone against iron and flame. Brutality is the only constant, an unyielding tide that sweeps away valor and innocence alike. Within this time, you could come across beings such as Dreadnoughts. A Dreadnought is not merely a machine of war, but a living relic, a towering fusion of man and steel, forged in the fires of battle and consecrated by the blood of its occupant. These massive war engines carry within them the consciousness of a fallen hero, a space marine whose body has been too gravely wounded for any hope of recovery, but whose soul remains strong enough to endure the brutal existence of eternal warfare. Interred within a sarcophagus, deep inside the machine, the pilot is bound by neural links that turn the Dreadnought into an extension of their very being. A Dreadnought is no simple tank, it is a walking fortress, a creature of a legend, feared as much for the soul imprisoned within as for its devastating armaments. They stride across battlefields with thunderous steps, their ancient names etched in the annals of countless wars, revered as relics of the distant past, where history and mythology intertwine. The origins of Dreadnoughts trace back to the dark age of technology, a time when humanity's mastery over the machine reached heights now long forgotten. Yet, it is within the age of strife that they truly came into their own, born out of necessity, in a universe descending into chaos. As the galaxy shattered and war became the eternal state of existence, the technology to create these living tombs passed into the hands of the Adeptus Astartes. Each chapter jealously guards its Dreadnoughts, many of which are tens of thousands of years old. Some of these ancient warriors have memories that stretch back to the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, carrying the scars of battles fought against traitors and aliens alike. To awaken a Dreadnought from its stasis is no simple task. It is to call upon the wisdom and fury of the dead, to invoke the weight of millennia of combat. It is said that the tech rights needed to sustain these machines are nearly lost, preserved only in fragmented codes and sacred chants, making each one a precious and irreplaceable artifact of war. Those who pilot Dreadnoughts are not merely warriors, they are the most honored of the fallen, space marines whose deeds in life were so valorous that death itself could not claim them. They have been torn apart, their bodies reduced to ruin, yet their spirits endure, interred within the cold, unfeeling iron of the Dreadnought's chassis. For them, there is no return to the mortal world. Their flesh, if it remains at all, is a frail husk encased in a sarcophagus of ceramite and adamantium. And yet, through the Dreadnought, they move, they speak, and they fight, their consciousness woven into the machine. Over time, this eternal existence wears upon their minds. Ancient Dreadnoughts may lapse into moments of confusion or bitter lethargy, their once sharp memories blurring into dreams of distant wars. When battle calls, they awaken with a terrible clarity, driven by a singular purpose, to destroy the enemies of the Emperor until they too are no more. On the battlefield, Dreadnoughts are engines of destruction, wielding weapons that can tear through infantry and vehicles alike with horrifying ease. Their massive frames bear the scars of countless wars, but they stride forward undeterred, shrugging off enemy fire with a contemptuous ease born of a millennia of experience. A Dreadnought can crush its foes beneath its feet, incinerate them with plasma, or rip them apart with its mighty power fists. Its role varies depending on its configuration. Some Dreadnoughts serve as mobile artillery, raining death from a distance, while others wade into the heart of the enemy lines, ripping apart fortifications and scattering infantry. They are as much symbols of dread as they are weapons of war, but to face a Dreadnought is to face a legend incarnate, a warrior who has transcended death itself. The presence of a Dreadnought on the battlefield shifts the tide of war. They are the embodiments of the Imperium's ancient, unyielding strength, a reminder that even in death, the Emperor's warriors fight on. Entire campaigns have been shaped around the appearance of these living relics, their reputations alone enough to demoralize enemies before a shot has been fired. Their effect ripples far beyond the battlefield, for within each Dreadnought is the weight of history, a voice from the distant past, echoing into the present. Chapters of the Adeptus Astartes revere their Dreadnoughts as sacred, living monuments to their greatest heroes. To lose one is a catastrophic blow, not just in terms of firepower, but to the spirit of the chapter. O venerable Dreadnought, sentinel of forgotten wars, you stride across the battlefield as a tomb, where neither death nor time can claim you. Bound within your cold shell, your broken body stirs, a whisper of life entombed in a vault of steel, ancient and unyielding. In your slumber, you have seen the rise and fall of empires, your gaze unblinking as centuries slip past like shadows. Yet, when the call comes, you awaken, not with the vigor of youth, but but with the dreadful weight of purpose, the fury of millennia. Yours is the glory denied to mortal men, the immortality of endless war, fought not for honor, but for the memory of it. And though you are ravaged and scarred, you stand as a monument to the Emperor's wrath, a silent titan, whose roar is heard in the silence between stars.